have the awesome responsibility of making an impact, but making it short because y'all got to get home and got school tomorrow.
I know you're right.
And then y'all just ate.
Thank you.
And we black. When we eat, I was trying not to say it. So all of that. Let me just get right into it. The bio says a whole lot of stuff, but the bio fails to mention that I'm from the south side of Chicago. It fails to mention that although I sit at the table with a lot of dignitaries, a lot of millionaires, a lot of individuals that have done a lot, it somehow does not mention it. Somehow forgoes the reality of my neighbor getting 66 years in jail when I was just 16. All of the great things that the Lord has blessed me to do, all of the great things that the Lord has blessed me to see, somehow in being a Bill Gates scholar, somehow in being a Ph.D., somehow in being able to epistemologically, philosophically, and sociologically assess, substantiate data, somehow in all of that, we got a Trayvon Martin. See, I got to come here today to talk about what I talk about, so I hope you just give me a few minutes. Because at the end of the day, I got two words, Trayvon Martin. But as Reverend Jackson so eloquently just said the other day, Trayvon Martin is just a book cover. We got a whole lot of pages. So a lot of this happening. I got to go ahead and give you a little introduction to who I am. Yeah, I got a Ph.D. Amen. Bachelor's is in sociology, master's is in educational policy studies, Ph.D. in educational policy studies with an emphasis on policy analysis. I'm real for real, yeah. Teaching at the university, yeah. Professor, yeah. Black, yep. Woman, yep. Southside, for sure. That's what I am, that's what I be. So I got to give you a little introduction because I don't want you to get caught up in NBC and then at MSNBC. I don't want you to get caught up in the beautiful things that I've been able to do and the things that I've been able to see, because at the end of the day, for every one of me, there's 40,000 others that will never see a college classroom that look like me. I'm serious about what I'm about to talk about.
Go ahead, girl.
See, because we stopped having some conversation, so I have the awesome responsibility this afternoon to teach. Speak, and I'm sorry, I gotta let you know I got a little preaching in me too. So, but anyway, by calling I preach, by gift I teach, by talent I speak. Don't write my stuff down, that's who I am. But I gotta talk about this because Trayvon Martin is just a book cover for 2012. But I gotta talk to the parents. See, I got the hard job today, Eric, and I thank you for having me. But when you have a crowd like this, you gotta kind of influence, inspire, instigate, but you also gotta make sure that the young people know where they come from. And then you gotta talk to the parents, because parents gotta parent. I gotta spend some time to talk today. Because Trayvon is just the end of what Medgar Evers went through. I gotta talk about Medgar Evers. All he wanted to do was go to law school. He just wanted to go to college. But Medgar Evers somehow, 40, 50 years ago, Medgar Evers somehow caught up in the same doctrine of segregation and racism with Rosa Parks, King, and X. Somehow Medgar Evers fought for the United States of America, came back alive, and died on his own front lawn. I gotta talk to y'all. Because King said I can legislate policy, I can make the law say something, but I can't change the attitude. I can give you a law to say you can sit on the bus, but that don't mean the bus driver gonna like you. I can give you a law and say you can sit in some classrooms, but that don't mean the teacher wanna teach you. I just gotta talk today, because I don't want nobody to get this twisted. Oh yeah, I'm gonna use some words for sure, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, for sure, yeah, I gotta talk to y'all. Because Martin didn't die of natural causes, he was killed. Malcolm X didn't die because he was old, he was killed. They both died at 39. Both of them were killed at the age of 39. Reverend Martin Luther King Jr., having just turned 39, 3 months after turning 39, he was killed. Malcolm X, not even realizing 43 months before his birthday, was killed. I'm just talking about what I'm talking about. They didn't die of natural causes. 4 little girls. I gotta give you some history. Because there's some people over here that don't like history. You like me. You went to high school and you didn't like history. But it wasn't history you didn't like. You didn't have the right teacher with the pedagogical approach that made it real. Don't get mad at the subject. This time you can get the messenger. You know how they say don't shoot the messenger? No, crucify the messenger if she ain't giving you the message you need. But that's another conversation. I only got a few minutes and y'all ready to go. Chicken got you full. So, 4 little girls just wanted church that day. Some of y'all don't know about Birmingham, Alabama. Just based off how you look, you couldn't walk in places. 4 little girls sitting in Sunday school, reading the good book. Somehow, they didn't see the bomb that day. Dr. King did the eulogy. Trayvon Martin is just the book cover. We've been killed a whole lot of times just because of how we look. We have been killed a whole lot. But I've come by today to Gary to tell you, through it all, we have somehow always fought back. Through it all, we have somehow always made it through. I'm a Ph.D. today because I stand on giant shoulders. That's why I can see above everybody else. I understand where I come from. We are a brilliant people, a resilient people, and even in the wake of Trayvon Martin, if we just lean a little bit on our history, we'll understand that it's a whole lot of more work we got to do. So I come by today to talk about that work. Can I have a few more minutes? See, because I want y'all to know that there's a continuation of this, a perpetual motion of this. I got to teach a little bit. So my company, Blackademically Speaking, is built off of this. Yeah, I made a word. People like, Doc, what's Blackademically Speaking? I said, what's Google? Ain't nobody questioning that Google wasn't in the dictionary 15 years ago. I asked Grandma now today how she feel about Twitter. Watch how she tweets you out her room. I'm just here to tell you, Facebook wasn't no word 10 years ago. But all of a sudden, when Dr. Gill make Blackademically Speaking, why I make the complex simple, and I'm proud to be black and academic together, and I just want to talk a talk. Now all of a sudden we got a conversation. No, you made YouTube, Facebook, and Google, and Blackademically Speaking tell people on Facebook to put your face in books, and then we have a conversation. See, Blackademically Speaking is relevant. Why? Because we stopped having a conversation about what it meant to be black. What it meant. Say it loud. See what I'm talking about? And talk about what I'm talking about. Blackademically Speaking was born out of a tradition. My oratory skills is born out of a tradition that says it's okay to not only be African American, but it's important to be human. Humundo, the root word, meaning to bury. I gotta teach. I'm sorry, by trade, I'm a teacher. Meaning to bury, meaning we all come from, naturally speaking, dirt. Human. We all got something in common. Here to teach for a second about what it means to be human, to be black. I have the awesome job to talk to our young people today. And I'm going to give you 3 things. That's what I got to do, give you 3 things. You go home, hopefully you remember, maybe you'll tweet it, whatever. Some of y'all will email me. That's what they usually do when I leave. I saw on the website Champion. My book is Champions Break Chains. I found it to be a natural fit, Erica. I want to introduce you to a Claude McKay. I hear oratory, I hear all the things, the categories that people want in today. But Blackademically Speaking believes one thing. To educate our kids, you got to motivate them. I can negative B plus minus square root of B squared minus 4AC over 2A all day long. I can 12, 24, 36, 48, 6, 72, 84, 96, 108, 121, 32, 144, 156, 168, 180 all day long. I can give 13, 26, 39, 52. I can do that all day long. But to educate our children because of where our children are, you got to motivate them. When you grow up, as I did, by abandoning buildings, you think it's cool to abandon kids. When you grow up by vacant lots, you think your thinking has to be vacant. So it's hard to walk past abandoned buildings through vacant lots to school and learn when daddy is locked up for real and mama locked up in her mind. I gotta talk. Hey. Gotta have a conversation. Paul McKay said, if we must die, let it be not like hogs hunted and pinned in a glorious spot round us bark, the mad and hungry dogs. If we must die, he said, let us nobly die. Oh, kinsmen, we must meet the common foe. I'm paraphrasing. Though far outnumbered, let us show us brave, and for their 1,000 blows, deal one death blow. What though before us lies the open grave? Like men, we'll face the murderous, cowardly pack. Pressed to the wall, we dying, but we fighting back. That's what I'm talking about. Saying, we come from a tradition, young brothers and sisters. You ain't just here. Mama and daddy had a mama and daddy. Mama and daddy's mama, daddy had a mama and daddy. It took a lot to make acts so real. NAACP was born from tumultuous times right in Illinois. While you Googling, I gave you the Google Springfield, Illinois, 1908 to question why the NAACP was necessary. Let's talk about one of those black men being at the table, because it wasn't all black folks that started the NAACP. W.E.B. Du Bois, who sat there, first black graduate out of Harvard University, said the problem of the 20th century will be the problem of the color line. Black folks been diagnosing this forever. It's other folks who trying to figure out what's wrong. We know the problem. Another person at that table before NAACP was Ada B. Wells. I talk about Ada like this. I ain't talking about them projects in Chicago for those who from where I'm from. We only knew about the Ada B. Wells project. See, I grew up on the low. I'm sorry, 6th person Dorchester. Let me really say my address. So low end for sure, real, right? Yeah, okay. Classification. Ada B. Wells. She went from corner to corner, block to block, street to street, telling the world it ain't cool to lynch us from trees, and now we stand on corners, blocks, and streets smoking trees. Yeah, let that marinate. Yeah, right. Fighting back, y'all. Fighting back. Show me somebody that ain't cried, I'll show you somebody that ain't loved. Show me someone who ain't experienced pain, I'll show you indifference. If you cried, show the scripture in the Bible. Oh, Jesus wept, Miss Church said, okay. Jesus wept. He cried because he loved. Let's contextualize that context and give you the pretext of that text. The pretext of that text, people, was that he was talking about, it was a conversation on Lazarus, who was dead. If I had another Sunday, I'll preach, but in the essence of time, I'll teach. Jesus wept. People, we are in a crisis today. I'm going to give some motivation and education because it's necessary. But we got to lay the groundwork. Why do I lay the groundwork? Because when I travel, I found that when you motivate, inspire, and influence, and instigate, and you get people to feel good, we're not dealing with the fact that children are abused by their uncles. I'm here to say that to cry is to show love. For anybody over in here, born before 19, excuse me, there was a songwriter that said, looking back over my years, I guess I shed some tears. Told myself time and time again, this time I'm going to win. But another fight, things ain't right, I'm losing again. Takes a fool to lose twice and start. I think I better. Seems like another love. Not that we going to have a choir rehearsal or nothing over here. But he said, I tried to take control of the love, but the love took control. Because you lose all your thoughts, sense of time, and have a change of mind. Taking the bumps and the bruises of all the things of a two-time loser. Try to hold on. Faith is gone. It's just another sad song. Because I think I better. What you say about that? Looks like another. We wrapping up. I see Teddy's in the room. Let's give it up for Teddy. He wins for the 27 category today, right? You guys wrapping up and getting to my point. Show me a room full of people that ain't loved before. Show me one. A lot of us have chased love even when love wasn't chasing us. That's another. Yeah, that's a sermon. I'll come back to Gary for that one. We have fought for love. Teddy like, man, listen, it looked like another love TKO, so that means he done been knocked down before. I'm going to parenthetically and paraphrasing this reality to compare it to something that's important. It goes like this. If we can fight for a bad relationship in the name of love, why can't we fight for a good relationship that really is love? See, let me bring it home, Mom, like for real. You love your children. Ain't nothing like a mama who will love her kids. You here today because you see something better for your children. You want for your kids I'm just talking about how I was raised. You want for your kids what you didn't have. Ain't nothing that can explain that kind of love for a parent. And when you love somebody like that, it ain't nothing you won't do for them. So where am I going? We need to love freedom like we love relationships. We need to love the idea of being out of bondage. Yeah. Why? Because love is freedom. You know this guy named Jesus, he died why? To free you. Amen. Just gonna make it simple. I can't make it hard. Because then you crucify me, no pun intended. Love is freedom. God so loved, he gave. That's the sacrifice. And he so loved you. That's the scriptures y'all read. So he wanted you to be free from sin. We got to want freedom like we want love. And if we're going to chase a man that don't want us in the name of love, why we can't chase freedom in the name of what will help our kids? So, I love y'all. Now comes the fun part. Now I see all these serious faces. Champions, I am grateful. I can't wait to get back here, Rock, to go into these high schools and see some of these students. Yes, I speak at graduations, all of that. How does champions break chains? Great question. Glad you asked. 6.6 seconds left in the basketball game. 10 years ago this year, at a school that I substitute taught in Urbana, Illinois. To expedite the story, it's in the book. You'll see it. Thanks, Erica, for the shameless plug. I was choked by a police officer. Mentoring high school students that night. Minding my business, keeping them out of trouble. I was raised by two loving parents. My mother's in the back of the room right now at the table. Mama didn't play no games. For real, for real. She was serious, still is. I'm like, man, how old am I? Yeah, right. Choked by a police officer, unidentified. Didn't know who he was at a high school basketball game. 6 seconds left. I'm talking to my young people here. This is why I do what I do. This is why I quit the university and dared to do what I'm needing to do for young people. I was, at 12 years old, had my first seizure, everybody. 13, and trying to find out why I was having seizures. They found a tumor in my head. I lived my entire adolescent and adult life with a tumor in my head and as an epileptic. Did that off-duty cop know that night? Probably not. Did it matter? Probably not. That police officer choked me into a seizure. I was hospitalized. The whole school knew me. I was president of the Black Graduate Student Association, president of the Young Adult Ministry down in Champaign, Illinois, vice president of my sorority, Delta Kappa Sorority Incorporated. I was doing my thing. Somehow, that night, y'all, can I teach? Can I? Somehow, laying in the hospital in a Ph.D. program. Police officers came to my bedside with my pastors on the other side as I was coming 2 hours later. And I was arrested for mob action. Can I teach? Can I talk about it? Trayvon Martin is just a book cover. It's a whole lot of pages. And I don't want nobody here to think, because it's Sunday, we got to just only celebrate. I got to teach our young people because I want them to understand that no matter how much you achieve, it's something very real about people still not liking you because of how you look. I don't want you to live in fantasy when you go to campus, because if you ain't on your best behavior and you get in the worst situation, ain't nobody going to talk for you. I got to talk like this today because our kids are up against some real serious forces. In the spiritual world, we call them demons. But we're in the convention center, so I'm going to keep it. So, I'm here to say, arresting me, mob action. 200 people outside the courtroom. Give me a few more minutes if you don't mind before I get to my points. The Spirit's leading me to tell this story. I'm in the hospital now, arrested in jail. People like, who in jail? Chandra? Because see, the thing about me is, I ain't never do nothing. Like, for real, that was my story. I didn't kick it. It was a Friday night. I was in a sorority. My sorors thought I was lame. But I was raised a different way. I saw a bigger picture. And I now know that's why the Lord used me that night. I don't know if He ordained it, but I know He allowed it. Somebody in here needs to know that what you're going through, even if God don't ordain it, He got to wait to allow things to happen. Even though He didn't put you there, He will allow it to happen to you. Some of you in relationships right now, you trying to figure out how you got there. You put yourself there, and God let it happen so you can see. You keep attracting that. That ain't got nothing to do with Him. That's you. If I had some more time, I would talk about that. You trying to figure out what's wrong with your job. Is it your job or is it you? I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. What's your bed every day? It's the wrong side every Monday. Why you always frowning? You love the Lord on Sunday. You smiling on Monday. You love the devil on Tuesday. Bible study Wednesday at your pew by yourself. Don't nobody want to sit by. Somebody need to hear this. Oh, wow. Let me keep it moving. I was arrested. Hospitalized. Arrested from the hospital. Amazing. Mob action. Crowd, I guess, drew some attention to the expedite the story to keep it moving. We had bail, bond hearing, teleprompter. Chancellor of the university later said, look, you got one of our star students. My campus is 35,000 students large. 2,000 African Americans, University of Illinois, Champaign-Urbana. I got out on an I-bond for our language, but on my own recognizance. Let's make the story real, where I had to write champions break chains. 19 months later, I was convicted, class 3 felon, aggravated battery, 6'4" cops say I choked him and beat him up. Let's make the story real. I didn't take a plea because I didn't know what I would be pleading to. I didn't do nothing. Mob action became aggravated battery, class 3 felony. Obstruction of a peace officer. Oh, I decided to fight. I had to fight it. We must die, we must, right? Fight back. I had to fight back. So, when they read me in court, room full of people, they had to switch courtrooms because there were so many people. When they read all of this and they wanted to throw me in jail for 3 to 5 years in jail, that's what they wanted to give me. All because they're saying that my sorority sister stepped over a line at the basketball game. She looked like she stepped on a line, and the cop who choked me said on the stand that she went under the rim, and during the game's timeout, she went under the rim and did a jig and ran back to her seat. She was a Ph.D. student too. I don't know why she would want to run onto a high school basketball game court, but that was his story. He was sticking to it. We were convicted. 3 months later, I was sentenced 18 months conditional discharge. The judge said, quite frankly, don't you ever think that you can disobey authority. All I did was go in the hallway and check on my friend, my sorority sister, my co-advisor, see where I'm from. When somebody leave you and you know they're going with somebody that you don't know, I was raised to go see what's happening because sometimes we don't come back. So what happens is your moral system conflicts with the authority, and all of a sudden Trayvon Martin is killed because he was taught to just say, man, this man is following me. I want you to kind of just see the connection. Because somehow, if my mama tell me to shut up and look at me in aisle 7 of Jewel and I don't shut up, it's going down. But to some others, they do time out. So ain't no time out, it's time in on your tail. So now that my mama do time in and you can go time out, I'm wrong. Time in is what got Chandra Gill here. Time out, I might be on the block. I'm just talking about what I'm talking about. Because what happens is you got groups of people who do certain things, and it just so happens, Rob, that sometimes the group of students and people that do certain things, they don't understand the way you do things, and because they sit in positions of power to make decisions about what you do, now you're subjected to what they see, but you can't do that. You can't get no kid no time out there dodging bullets every day. Oh, I gotta talk. I want us to be able to deconstruct, academically speaking, what's really happening today. There's a difference of opinion, and it don't mean that you're right and wrong, it just means that it's different. And don't get it twisted to expedite this and finish this off. Different don't mean better. So when people say, Dr. Gill, why you always talking about race and racism? Why you always doing race and racism? Right. Who's doing it? If ain't nobody racist, who doing it? Oh, okay, right. Blackademically speaking, we need to have conversations. We need to have these. I don't even talk about it in your office when you be like, girl, you ain't gonna get this because you know you this color. Then he say, well, was she have been arrested? Has she been another color? I don't know. Well, what I do know is this. I'm this color, and it leads me to this point of this, why I was bringing this up. Champions break chains. Yeah. See, he choked me, but he couldn't choke my career. He couldn't choke my destiny. He couldn't choke the God in me. He put his hands around my neck, but he couldn't yet touch the Ph.D. See, it's something profound about what Mama used to say when she used to say, Grandma say, get this, because when you got this, can't nobody. Okay, you can put me in a room this big, and if I ain't been reading, I still don't know nothing. But you can put me in this closet, and because I'm reading, I know how great I am. It don't matter how large the space is. If you ignorant, you're ignorant. But if you're smart, you can go in this room like Malcolm did, give me a book, and I'm good. And if you don't give me a book, I'll write one. Champions break chains. points for my young people because I don't want them to get it twisted. I want them to understand that even if you're privileged to go to Brown University, you better remember you Brown. Come on. I might need to say that again. Because I don't want us to come out old. See, I'm a Bill Gates scholar. See, and I go back every year and I speak to the students. They select 1,000 students to get the award. Can I have a little bit more time? 1,000 students get the award. And it's amazing because they're all minority students. Asian American, Native American, African American, Chicano, Mexicano, Latino. African American segment, yeah, that's me. And they bring me back as a speaker every year. Because after you get the award, what the Bill Gates Foundation does is they pay for the students to come to Virginia to retreat, a leadership conference. And my job is to motivate all 500 that come to Virginia, the other 500 go to LA. And I am forced now to say, wow, man, Chandra, this is what I say to myself. We got our work cut out. Because we got the folks in the hood who want to get out the hood and become something, but then they go to the university, they get all this training, and then they think they more than what they are. Right, let me run that back you again. Because I want us to be clear. I don't care what you have. If you ain't thinking about the people that helped you get there, oh Lord, y'all know they don't want to sit by you at the bank because you ain't they pay scale. They make 80,000, you make 20, but all of a sudden both y'all still in Gary. To me all the time. Well, Dr. Gill, you know, I'm just Southside girl. If you was so much better, why they ain't letting you in their club? Why you ain't over there? Bill Gates Scholarship. I'm forced to deal with our young people who now think that just because they have a 3.9 GPA and they're on their way to Harvard University, they have to come out and they have to major in biomedical engineering, and they have to understand that those people, Dr. Gill, you don't understand, these people that I left behind, these are the conversations that I'm having to deal with 19-year-olds and 18-year-olds who have ACTs of 28, who somehow think that just because they have a GPA and an ACT, they ain't BLACK. And I'm not saying that you gotta dumb yourself down. That's the end of this piece here. Because I know that our students, we don't do enough. Matter of fact, let me just go into it, because I'm wasting y'all time. Breaking the chains. Because I don't want you to get it twisted. I got 3 degrees so I can give everybody the 3rd degree. That's how I do it. Because I'm from the streets to the streets, back to the streets. I epistemologically come to the people and say, I don't need you to substantiate the data and talk about what is happening. At the end of the day, we poll. We ain't got to use all the words. We just need some money and some jobs and some education. We don't need to even talk like that. You know, I say I do that in schools. Teachers are coming down and their parents are coming in because they love their kids. And then you got teachers who just fresh off their master's degree, right? Talking about some, well, your son is in my class and his pedagogical approach to the, she wants you to tell her if Mike is acting up in school, so when she get home, she can wear him out and have him ready for you tomorrow. You're the teacher. You just got a master's in special ed. And now you want to talk about this conscious, unconscious, subconscious racism to a parent who don't understand that. And then you go back to your principal and talk about these parents ain't involved in this because you disengaging them. Yeah. Because see, you up here, you one check away from her with a lot of big words with yours. All right. Oh yeah, you got a lot of big words and unemployed. You just like everybody else is unemployed. You just got a lot of good ways to say you unemployed. You know, well, the forces that substantiate the position that I'm in, you in line with me. You want to check and I do too. How do we break the chains? Did I tell y'all I love y'all today? I probably just got right into it, you know. Break chains. 3 things that I want to talk to you about. And excuse me for being so authentically transparent. The first thing you got to do is break the chain of foolishness. There's a lot of foolishness going around here. You got a lot of people who don't want to be who God made them to be, and that means you mad at God and not the people around you. Ooh, wait, I got to say that again. God would have wanted you to be something different. He would have made you something different. Obviously, he was perfecting his plan. You just need to be the Oscar for this movie and roll out the production. You so busy trying to look like another actress, and he like, no, this is an action-packed film, and here you go making it a love story. This ain't no love story. God didn't make no mistakes for you. With you. Young people, you are who you are. Short, tall, big, small, work all that out. But how you look, how you were made, was a part of his perfect plan. Get the foolishness off the radar. We got to break the chains of foolishness. You got black folks who want to be white, white folks who want to be black. They make everybody trip. Yeah. One of the growing levels, I mean, it's a booming business. Tanning. I went to get a massage one day and I just was this close to asking the white girl, like, wow, like, you so serious in the wintertime, you come to the room and they sit there. I don't know, so please don't crucify me. I don't know the authentic realities of why they all do what they do. I'm not clear. I'm sure there are other elements at work. But let me just make my point. You got them trying to look a certain way. Then you got us, I'm going to school tonight. We won't, and please don't crucify me, because I know people will come to like, they're going to be talking about my weed. We coming blonde, blue, it's okay. If you feel like you want to enhance women, we do it all the time. We just want to enhance who we are. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But where it gets wrong and twisted is when I can't even recognize you. Wait a minute, you such and such daughter? Where she get that call? Some foolishness going around. Some foolishness. You on Facebook, your face ain't in books. You talking about people and you don't think that the boss gonna ever see what you say. Foolishness. You're a professional and you talking about stuff on Facebook like they can't catch you. We bought into a culture because it's social media. My page is private from who? Private from your friends, and when they go down and you didn't posted a drink on where you were last night, they can say maybe it was you who did it because you was at the club. I'm just bringing it home. Y'all better be thinking about this thing. Young people, you sit up here talking about, well, she got her nerve, go try to take my man. If he was worth arguing about, he probably wouldn't be a conversation between two of y'all. Right. The fact that y'all both talking about him means he's dealing with both of y'all. So what do you miss? Oh, Lord, I got to bring that back home again another way because I don't want nobody to get it twisted. For real, for real. If you got to argue with your friend over a man, then maybe it ain't your friend, maybe it's the man. Because the fact that y'all talking about him both being with y'all mean that both of y'all need to be evaluating that he having fun with y'all and love the fact y'all arguing. And you gonna get on Facebook and talk about that? And you got a 3.6? Okay. You gonna tweet what you gonna do to somebody? Wow. If you, let me tell you like they told me when I was growing up, if you that bad, just do it, don't talk about it. You ain't gotta tweet it. You ain't gotta call your friend. You ain't gotta text her at 8th period. Just meet her. But the real piece is you don't need to be doing none of it. There's some foolishness going around, and I end with the foolishness piece with this, Erica. We got to break the chains of foolishness that deal with suffering. Y'all, nobody told me this road would be easy, but I don't believe he brought me this far. See, we know conversation, but we don't make it a part of our cultural characteristic. Y'all, we got to suffer. That's cool. Look at everybody's face like, no, that ain't cool. But the very fact that you here believing what most of y'all believe came via suffering. Harriet Tubman suffered for you to be here. So the real piece is, if everything you have came from suffering, what will our kids have if you ain't willing to suffer? Oh, Lord. We got to break the chains of foolishness that deal with suffering and think that it's bad. Suffering is okay if it's for the Lord. You have a problem with it when you ain't supposed to be doing what you're doing. But if you suffer for the goodness of God, if you suffer because His grace is good to you, if you suffer because you know mercy, if you suffer because they crucify you because of who you say you love, suffer on. Break the chains of foolishness, y'all. It's some foolishness. Second chain we got to break, and then the third one I'm wrapping up is this chain of fear. I already brought her up. Harriet Tubman. She been alive today. I don't know how many people would have went. Harriet said, I freed many slaves, but I freed many more had they only known they were slaves. I freed those, in other words, who were willing to come. I left a whole lot back. Harriet was saying, look, if you want some out of life, you can't be afraid. Young people, if you got a 22 on the ACT, rock a 22 on your t-shirt. Don't be afraid to be smart. Being smart is who you are. Let them call you lame. Let them call you a nerd. Let them call you all that. Because in a minute they're going to be calling you boss because they're going to want a job from you. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of your intelligence. That's why I gave you Blackademically Speaking. That's why I made some t-shirts. If you want one tonight and you only got $10, I'll take that. I don't care. Rock the shirt. Blackademically Speaking is about not only do you what you eat, but you are what you wear. Be who you are. If you got a 3.7, rock 3.7. And when they talk about you saying you got a 3.7, you ain't gonna be able to handle 4.0 because 4.0 is next.
All right.
Apply to the school that you don't think you can get into and let grace carry you into admission. Don't go to a school that you know you can get into because everybody else going out. Don't apply to the city college because you're afraid of a 4-year university. Come on. I got to end with the next one. And that next one is real. Breaking the chains of foolishness. All right, Chair, got that. Chain of fear, okay, cool, I'm rolling. But then we got this chain of fail. I got a C, so I'm good. You got a C too, cool. A, it's a B and A out there. While we sitting up here talking about what we talking about, China just built a 30-story building in 15 days. China ain't playing. We sitting up here playing PSPs, MP3s, iPods, watching BET, and GED is where we at. Ph.D. we don't know. We can get on NBA, Y2K, and beat man Joe Live. I just beat dude over in Rome, and can you read with him in Rome? Here to say, we gotta break this chain of failure. Y'all are brilliant. Y'all are resilient, you're bright. There's nothing you can't do. I don't care what yesterday looked like. Yesterday was the motivating factor of where you are today. If your mother is not what she needs to be, if your daddy ain't where he needs to be, that means you gotta break it all in. You gotta bring it in and say, I'm breaking this chain of failure. What they didn't do, I'm about to do better. Because I want my kids to have that. What I don't see, I'm gonna be. Why does Gary need that? It's your job. It's your time. So I gotta give you a bonus. Break the chain of foolish. Break the chain of fear. Break the chain of failure. And I dare you to have faith.
Wow.
Dare you. Well, friend, I'm leaving you now. Never leaving you in your mind, but I'm leaving your presence now. I'm here to tell you that there's something strong about faith. And faith go like this. I know it's a subject. Yeah, right. We ain't going there. Because I got something else. Faith for Dr. Gill is the actualization of that revelation that the Lord gave you. Right. But because of your procrastination, we live in this situation we in. I'm going to get to you like this. See, because the Lord then gave some of y'all some stuff and you're just sitting on it. You're waiting for that right moment. I'm so glad Jesus didn't wait on the right cross. I'm so glad that he knew what he was called to do. He never got it twisted. I am that I am. I'm just who I am. No, I ain't going to be here for that. You're going to see me later. 3 days. No, I'm going to come back though. You don't believe me? Check me out on the other side. But you let Jesus get. No, I'm just am that I am. You can't see? Bang. Go do what you're supposed to do. You bleed? Stop the blood. I'm just here because I know what I'm supposed to do. I'm so glad that he actualized that of what the Lord gave him. I got to tell you, if the Lord gave you a revelation and there's no actualization because of your procrastination, then this is going to be the situation and our kids ain't going to have no destination. If you don't get your faith game tight, if you don't live what you keep talking about, faith ain't no conversation. Faith is a cultural characteristic of who Christ's supposed to be in you.
All right.
If I had a church, I would come from Luke 2. But I ain't in church, Erica. I can't do that, but I'm going to give you a sneak peek because it's what I do for real. I don't want you to get it twisted. Because see, man, Luke 2, I think that's the text. That was this guy who we talking about now, who was called Jesus as a young buck. His parents left him behind. They on their way to the Passover. They so funny about the Passover, they forgot Jesus. So Jesus didn't get mad. You know, my mom and daddy forgot me. He went on about the business.
All right.
They came back a day later looking for their son. If I had some time to talk about that, I'll talk about some parents that may never come back. But anyway, you keep him. They came back a day later looking for their son. And Jesus was handling some business. He knew where he was going. Oh, you see where I'm about to go. He knew what he was called to do. He never got it twisted. God said, this is what you're going to do. He accepted the suffering because he understood the bigger picture. Ain't you glad that he didn't contest God like Moses and say what, why, when, where? You right now have been told to open a school because these schools don't work and you still sitting on it waiting on the right thing. No, the right thing is already in you. You can't live the right thing because you're looking at you from a limited perspective. I just told somebody this the other day. At the end of the day, I got 5 more minutes because I got to get this out. A standard elevator and a freight elevator are both elevators. The difference is this. It's all about how much weight they can carry. A standard elevator has the capacity to only carry people. The other elevator, the freight elevator, has the capacity to carry products. While they both go up and down, while they both do some of the same things, one can carry more weight. You rolling like a standard elevator, don't even know you got freight capacity.
All right.
Shogi, I gotta bring it home because you out here rolling with the chickens, you know the story, and you don't even know you're an eagle. You sit up and trying to live like the chickens, put your face to the ground, and you don't even know you're supposed to be sorry. You sit up here trying to roll, flop, and you don't even know you can fly. You flopping, you're supposed to fly. You looking down, you're supposed to be looking up. You afraid, you living as a standard, but it's all about capacity. You have to live faith. My freshmen, sophomore, juniors, and seniors, you break those chains. I don't care what nobody says. I don't care if your counselor say you can't do it. You tell them, when you put a period, I got a question mark, then I got another sentence, I'm going to put a comma on that, and when I get my degrees, I'm going to let you put a period on what you really my life is about. Remove that period, put a comma there, and tell them to be continued. Holler at me in 4 years. Break chains.